Hi guys, it's LPSGemini, and today I'm technically welcoming you to my first video. As you can tell from the title, I'm technically discussing my first series. This is also technically my first video. I have filmed some in the past, but they're no longer existing. So I will say filming is currently underway and I'm also editing as I go. Title is still a work in progress. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm sure it'll probably be in this video, and if not, it'll be in the episode title, so you know, roll with me here. But basically, the story sort of follows this fantasy world. It's a bit of a dystopian world as well. It's got 3 races, as in like species, and there are some dark themes to it, and obviously some romance as well, because a dystopian novel wouldn't be anything without romance. That's obviously a joke. Okay, that's basically the premise of the story without giving too much away, and I'm about to go into explanations anyway, so you'll understand what I mean. Hopefully. I should also probably mention that this is actually part of the set for the series. You'll understand what I mean, obviously, when it comes out later. But this is actually part of one of the characters' homes. Okay, so the first race that I'm going to mention are the medials. They're technically the normal people, and they possess magic. However, it's in much lower quantities than expected from the other 2 species in the series. The species is commonly far weaker in power than the other species, but they do not have any glaring weaknesses, and it is dependent case by case. So basically, they're kind of more difficult in battle, though their strength of magic is much lower than the other 2. They're the expected and ruling race, and therefore they govern the lands by their rules. If they come into contact with members from other species, they strike them down if they're discovered, simply for the fear of their power and possible plots for the throne, as they are the governing rulers and they don't really want to lose their power. So their governing monarch is a queen, along with her children who are being upheld by tradition to take the throne. It's also of note that this species does not have governing elements, as they can each be picked up within the repertoire and learned given the proper time and practice. So basically, unlike the other species, they don't have set like elemental limits. They have their limitations and also their bonuses, but so does everyone else. They're all just different. Okay, so the second species is the Sirenians. They're one of the 2 unique magical species. The Sirenians are mermaid creatures whose land obviously remains in the sea. The governing elements include water, ice, earth, invisibility, lightning, vocal manipulation and shadow, and of course the ability to maintain each of those powers and also the duration of them depends on how strong each person is, also depending on their lineage, which can depend on, you know, just the things. So these creatures are commonly known for their ethereal looks when in their true form. There are 4 ruling kingdoms amongst the underwater realm, and each govern either the north, east, south or west. They exist in a cohesive leadership between the clans. However, the northern region is largest, followed by the west, which classifies it as what is meant to be the main governing leadership. Though there are climate differences between the 4 kingdoms, unless adjusted over a given time, Sirenians are highly sensitive to drastic temperature changes, and therefore there lies their weakness. Though they are strong, fast and loyal by nature, they are prideful in their ways of governing, and this can often lead to issues when it comes to material exchanges or any possible fights with the medials who govern the land. The last race of note are the Clavians. They're the second of the 2 magical species. These creatures are able to shift to develop bird-like wings. These creatures characteristically vary between the wing colours in the ascending order of rarities of blue, pink and then purple. And majestic and mesmerising in appearance, the Clavians are governed by one ruling monarch, like the medials. Purple-hued Clavians commonly are accepted into the Royal Guard as they are more blessed with abilities in nature. However, their ability to blend with the natural world makes them an easier prey than blue or pink-hued wings, so they must maintain their birthright skill levels. The royal family can be any shade of the given hues as well. Their governing elements are air, fire, earth, thunder, light, vocal manipulation, and invisibility. Clavians are swift, balanced, and agile. However, due to their light and weights, metal weakens their abilities. Though jewellery metals do not harm them, where metal is used in items such as chains, arrows, spears, and chain netting, it greatly affects their abilities, so they're no longer able to fly until it is removed from physical contact. Though their relations to medials is ever so slightly better than Sirenians, they are also forced to negotiate or sneak their needed resources, and they are still highly Clavians are still highly scrutinised and just as preyed upon as Sirenians. They often exist in high areas, obviously, such as mountains, which are really tall and are often difficult to reach by foot, or amongst dense forests or among the clouds. The medials kind of act like mages, and one of their unique abilities that no race holds, no matter what their status, is the ability to create blood bonds. These basically tie someone to another person, sort of like a contract. They can be made between each of the species, however, obviously only the medials can perform it, not the Clavians or Sirenians. And it's basically because the medials are the governing species, they can sort of use blood bonds free to their will, which can result in some not so pleasant situations. They're not always bad, but they're also not often that great. They're not symbiotic, as one might put it. So, as mentioned prior, this series is going to be a fantasy series, but it does still deal with some dark elements and some romance, and also possibly some dark humour, so I would not recommend it to younger audiences. I just want to put that out there now so there's no misconceptions later on. And also, obviously, because of copyright regulations, you know, some things, some story elements just need to be put in place. Obviously they still have to suit the story, and they do, but they're necessary, and so that's sort of why they're in there. I also should mention that there are some mentions of alcoholism and also some trauma that can be experienced, so at least that's what I'm planning on. If, you know, it's a sensitive topic, I also just wanted to put that out there as well, and I'm going to try and deal with it in the most light way as possible, and by light I mean respectful. I'm certainly not trying to glorify those situations. I feel as though it's part of the character and it's part of her development and just sort of understanding what she's been through, and then also how she's trying to grow from that. And so I thought it was a story I wanted to put in there. What was I gonna say? Yes, okay, so I was gonna say, just as a little special thing here, I thought I might take you on a little tiny tour around one of these sets for the main character. She actually owns 2 houses because she's rich. No, that's a joke. She's not rich, but she does have some money. She lives here half of the time, and then when she's in the process of client orders or she simply needs to get away for a little bit, she'll move a little bit further out of the village into her manor. But I thought you guys might enjoy at least taking a tiny little sneak peek at some of the sets. So it's not fully finished. But it's mostly finished and it's mostly built and constructed. There's actually meant to be some furniture things right here, but So I thought I would take you on a little tour. Let's get started. So excuse the lighting and the obtrusiveness of my finger. It is a little bit of a small space, so also going into the series, bear that in mind. But this is the kitchen area that I made. So basically there's cupboards, there's a sink, oven, drawers, fridge, you know, all the works that you need in a kitchen. There might possibly still be some things to be added, like some racks along the walls. I know that where I'm currently standing there might also end up being a desk. That's sort of the main structure for now. So yeah, that's the kitchen. Excuse the closeness of this, but this is basically the guest bedroom. I mean, there's not really much more to it other than, you know, it's the guest bedroom. It's just up the stairs, and this is also sort of where she does her studying. You might sit on the bed, and there's a desk over here, and then there's obviously a bookshelf up there. And I should also mention, it's becoming so aware how badly I'm gonna need a proper camera stand, because right now I'm just using random items, so I apologise for that if that's very obvious, but hopefully I can fix that in the future. The last area I'm going to show off is the upstairs area, in case you haven't noticed by the kitchen that you can see down below. But this is the main bedroom. It's part of what's not fully finished, but it is majority. I'm not showing you over there because that's the part that isn't fully finished. This just sort of serves as a little sort of loft. It's like an apartment style / townhouse area. So yeah, this is her bedroom, and this is the bed. Obviously that's her closet. Behind me is the bathroom. I'm not really going to show you that. It's a bathroom. This is just sort of the main bedroom area. That kind of concludes the set tour. I will say that, you know, with tertiary studies, I have got a lot going on. Luckily, I'm currently in the middle of Easter break, so I can get a lot done. Advance warning if sometimes it might take a little while. Just wanted you to know why. You know, unfortunately, I do have to put a lot of time into my tertiary education because I am paying for it. It is going towards my debt, and I want to do well in my degree. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've got some clarity on the upcoming series. Let me know down below what you're looking forward to, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll try to respond. If there is any questions, that is. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, guys, as well, because I know time's really tough right now. We can get through it. We got YouTube, we got LPSGemini, we got food, we got, I mean, hopefully you got food. We've got books, games, we've still got texts and calls. Luckily, we're not in like the 1950s. I hope that if things are really tough for you right now, they ease up real soon. Everyone deserves happiness. Tough times really suck. But I hope you're all good. I hope you all stay safe. Remember to wash your hands. And I'll see you all in the next video, which will hopefully be the first episode. Bye guys!